So our worksheet is going to help us continue thinking about the next bit in the story in Exodus, looking at Moses' life. Have a go at the worksheet, have a read of it in the Bible. So we're looking at Exodus chapter 5. So second book in the Bible, Exodus, starting from the big number 5, and it's a long bit today, all the way through to chapter 7, so the big number 7, and stop when you get to the little number 8. Okay, we've got the key verses that you'll need to fill in the worksheet. They're listed on the sheet for you. So have a go, and then come back to the video and we'll discuss the answers. So the first question, what does God want Pharaoh to do? It says, have a look in chapter 5 verse 1 for that. And God wants Pharaoh to let his people go, so you can cross out work harder for Pharaoh. Why did Pharaoh not want to listen to God? Chapter 5 verse 2, was it his wife told him not to, or he didn't know who God was? Well, Pharaoh says, I don't know who God is, so we can cross out his wife told him not to. Pharaoh makes the Israelites work hard. How does God plan to respond? Chapter 6 verse 1, so flip over to chapter 6, big number 6. God's going to show Pharaoh that he is more powerful. My Bible, it says, God says, because of my mighty hand, he will not let them go. Because of my mighty hand, drive them out of his country. God's going to show Pharaoh that he is more big, more powerful than Pharaoh is. Next question. Read Exodus chapter 6, verses 6 to 8. Write down all the things that God promises he will do for his people. There's loads of things in this passage where he goes, I will do this, I will do that. And let's have a look. Exodus chapter 6, verses 6 to 8. So, he says, I will bring you out from under the yoke of the Egyptians. I'll stop the Egyptians being cruel and horrible to you. Then I will free you from being slaves to them. He says, I will redeem you or rescue you or buy you out of being slaves. I'll free you. I'll make things better for you. He goes, I'll take you as my own people. They're going to be God's special people. He says, I will be your God. That's the fifth one. I will be your God. How amazing is that? The God who made the whole world was promising to look after and care especially for the Israelites. He says, I'll make myself known to you. So they're going to get to know this God, have a relationship with him, be friends with him. He says, I'll bring you to the land. Remember those promises to Abraham and Isaac and Jacob, the promise of land. So God's going to bring them to the land. And then at the end, I'll give it to you as a possession. You will get to own it. You'll get to live there. So those are 8 amazing promises of things that God will do for his people. It's absolutely sure. I will do this. He's not going, oh, I might do this. It's, I will do this. So how do you think Moses felt when he got this message from God? Surely Moses would have been encouraged and excited by this news. He'd heard it before, but even after everything had seemed to go wrong with Pharaoh being cruel to the Israelites, God's going, I'm going to keep my promises. This is what's going to happen. Maybe he's a bit unsure, but he must be really excited and encouraged that God has promised again to do all these things. And he goes and tells the Israelites, but the Israelites don't listen. And chapter 6, verse 9, why did the Israelites not listen to this message? But in my Bible it says because they did not listen to him because of their discouragement and harsh labour. Things were just too bad for them. They thought, how can God do all these things he's promised us when things are so bad for us now? They didn't trust that God was bigger and powerful and more strong than Pharaoh. They could only see the difficulties in their life at that moment. Okay, next question. Unscramble the letters in the pyramid to reveal what the Egyptians were going to learn about God. So God keeps making this message to tell the people and that the Israelites need to know, and then the Egyptians are going to learn about God. The answer is, I am the Lord. I am the Lord. God said, I am the Lord. I am the powerful God. I am who I am. I'm a God who keeps my promises. I'm the creator God. I'm the strong God. I'm the powerful God. And I'm going to be God of the Israelites. I'm so much stronger than Pharaoh. They thought Pharaoh was like a God. But I am bigger and better and more powerful and more amazing than him. Okay, some questions for us to think about for our own lives. Why couldn't God's rescue plan be stopped by Pharaoh being cruel to the Israelites? So remember, God still promised he's going to rescue the Israelites, even though things have seemed to go wrong. But God knows. God's in charge. God's bigger than you or me, or Pharaoh, or Moses, or the Israelites. He knows what's going to happen. He promised Moses that things would be hard, that Pharaoh wouldn't make it easy to rescue his people. So it's not like, oh no, my plan's gone entirely wrong, what am I going to do? Oh, I better come up with another plan. No, God's still in charge. And nothing can throw his plan off course. Are there things that we do that we think mean God can't save us? I mean, God's got a rescue plan for us, sending Jesus to die on the cross. But sometimes things happen to us, or we do things that we know are wrong and sinful, and we think, oh no, God can't possibly rescue me because I've done this, because I've been so horrible to that person. I've thought so many horrible things. I've said so many horrible things. But when that happens, we need to remember God and his promises. The last question. We need to remember that God is a kind God who keeps his promise. He's not saying, the Israelites, you have to be brilliant, you have to be perfect, and then I'll rescue you. He's saying, no, I will rescue. It's a promise. And in the New Testament, God promises people like you and me who trust in Jesus that God's going to work out his plans to rescue us. And he's going to use all the things that happen in our life to do that. There's not going to be anything that comes as a surprise to God that makes him think, oh, I can't rescue that person. I can't save that person. God is a kind God. He knows what's going to happen. He's in control. And if he's rescued us, he's promised that he will keep us all the way through our lives until we get to join with him forever and ever in heaven. So there's nothing that we can do or that can happen to us that can throw God's rescue plan for our lives off course. Just like there was nothing that could throw God's rescue plan for his people, the Israelites, off course. God's bigger, he's more powerful, he's in control, and he knows what's going on. So hopefully we can be encouraged to keep going, keep living Jesus' way from this passage in Exodus chapter 5 to chapter 7.